All right, good morning. Just going to discuss a little bit of church history for you that I think is a little bit confusing when I talk to Eastern Orthodox people and then and Roman Catholic people. I think, and then you talk to New Testament Christian church people like myself who believe in New Testament church history and not Roman Catholic history. Okay, here's one of the major problems that we're coming to as far as a disagreement goes, and I guess I'm going to try to clear that up here a little bit, because for some reason, just like the Whitsit theory people and the Roman Catholic people and the Eastern Orthodox people, they all believe that the only church history is Roman Catholic church history. That's not true. That's a lie. And Rome's own records prove that's a lie. And the Eastern Orthodox, I would think, and I have to look more at their records, would prove the same thing. Because they, by the way, for the first 1,000 years, they trace their history the same as Rome. They say they came from Rome. Well, I'm over here saying, hey, guess what? There was some baptized believers that never came from Rome. They weren't a part of Rome. They were independent and stood alongside of that church of Rome that became that great big fat nasty whore that tried to destroy all of the biblical churches that rejected infant baptism and would not accept papal authority or would not accept any emperor's authority over their faith. So there is a history of baptized believers, and you can find it in Rome's history because Rome talks about them. They talk about the Donatists. Rome talks about the Novationist. Rome talks about the Paulicians. Rome talks about the Waldensians. And yes, they call them the same thing that they call us in the Greek Orthodox people call us. They call us heretics, which doesn't really bother me when a bunch of people that are kissing statues and kissing pictures of saints and are venerating and worshiping Mary, and who, by the way, is not the mother of God. She's the mother of Jesus. Jesus is God, yes, but Jesus was God manifest in the flesh. So there's not some queen of heaven going on. We'll talk about that in another video. The point is in this church history, the differences that we have are, you guys for some reason don't believe there were any local autonomous churches that stood against Roman Catholicism. You for some reason believe that you guys were the only ones. But the problem is that all these people that you deny, your records prove that you killed. And I'm talking about the Roman Catholic Church, but even in that first 1,000 years, you murdered all of those people. You killed those martyrs, and I can prove that very easily. Those records are right in Rome's own records. You murdered these people and killed them for their faith, for what they believed, because they would not accept papal authority. Go back to Augustine, go back to Constantine, go back to any of those men, and you can see that. How about the Edict of Milan? Yep, the edict against the Donatists. Yeah, I can read. I have two eyes, and I can read, and I can see the truth. Okay, so there were many people that were slaughtered for their faith. The Edict of Milan, the edict against the Donatists, all those edicts, and then the Paulician slaughter that took place. Many. I've got the Baptist Battle for Liberty. You can go back and listen to those. Those records are there. That truth is there. It's not hard to find. It's right there in plain sight. Okay? But I'm going to point you in the direction. I'm going to have Luke put some descriptions down there in the video so you can find that history very easily. So you can't say that that wasn't part of church history. Okay? Because what you guys are saying is that while there was like the Great Schism and then like nobody ever... Okay, so nobody stood against Roman and papal authority all the way through that time. Nobody stood against Constantine. Nobody stood against any of these men. Wait, no, that's a lie, because I have the history that proves it very differently, that many of those people did from their own records, our enemies' records, that hated us for the gospel's sake, that hated us because we rejected their baptism, that hated us because we rejected their bishops. Yep. There were always holy men that stood against that Roman apostasy. There were always men that stood against that emperor's rule over their faith. And that is very easily proven. But that's the problem. You have a false history. You're leaving out the facts for a reason. You're leaving out the facts of persecution of the saints of God for a reason. You're leaving it out because you don't like it. Because it indicts you, just like it indicts Calvin, just like it indicts Zwingli, just like it indicts the other reformers, just like the Puritans are indicted by it. That's why you don't like that history. That's why you would love that history to go away, but you all bragged about it in Roman Catholic history. You all bragged about murdering these people. But guess what? By God's grace, you can't chop my head off and you can't burn me at the stake using the state to do it. So I'm going to tell this truth, and you can put your little reviews on Facebook, and you can do all these things you want to that you don't like because I'm telling you the truth. That doesn't bother me one bit. I'm going to keep telling you the truth because you need to understand salvation by grace through faith, that the Word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing and dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Also, you need to understand that Christ might receive glory in the church throughout all ages, a world without end. You know, that Christ promises there would always be people on this earth. There would always be his church on this earth. There would always be men that would be earnestly contending for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. So, I'm gonna show you where that true history is. And you can try to deny it, but your Roman Catholic history wrote about it. You all wrote about it, and you all bragged about it, and I intend to use your own writings against you. And to call these people heretics, was there heresies among the Donatists? Sure. Were there heresies among the other groups? Sure. There always have been, just like there are today. Heresies among people that call themselves Baptists, heresies among people that call themselves Pentecostals, heresies among all of those groups. There always has been. But that doesn't mean that all of them were. And any fair historian will look at that and say, that's true. I can't say everybody was like that, because if I say everybody was like that, then I'm not being honest, because I don't know everybody. Right. So, the point is, the church history is there, and I intend to show you where it is, and I'll give it to you point by point. But I'm not going to argue on Facebook threads and type little things. I don't have time for that, okay? It's a waste of time. I'll do videos exposing that history. I've already done hours upon hours of it. It's there, the Baptist Battle for Liberty. Look it up. But I'm not going to argue, tit for tat with people on that. I don't have time for that. That's just a bunch of cyber fussing that I don't have time for. The truth is there. The history is there. The difference is, I didn't come from Rome. My faith didn't come from Rome. It came from the Word of God. Rome apostatized from the faith. And Greek Orthodox is painted pageantry to light your way to hell with. It's the same thing. Have a good day.